McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, hour number 3. If you missed any of the show, you can always download the podcast. Just go and check it out on whatever podcast platform you're on. Go and check them out. Mac and Cube, you can subscribe. Every hour is cut up for you. You can go and check it out. We've had a fun show throughout the first 2 hours. Hour number 1, mostly spent on Bama spring ball, kind of bouncing around that. Hour number 2 started off with Auburn, had Andy Burcham on the show, setting the stage for the NIT semifinals coming up a couple days from now, and got into a little Auburn spring ball as well in the second segment. They got another practice coming up today. And then bottom half of hour number 2, we presented a pretty remarkable story. $26 million. That's enough for a lot of people to do a lot of things. Well, not for a family in Kentucky who said, nope, you cannot buy our land, our 433 acres for $26 million. You cannot. We're going to continue to farm that land, and you can go and kick rocks to some AI company that was trying to build a data center. Pretty tremendous. Probably one of the cooler things ever. They said, nope, we're good. Not doing it. Absolutely amazing. Love every second of that story and love that family. They are like the best family ever. I want more people to be like them. I, for one, if I was offered $26 million for our land, probably have a tough time turning it down. Going to be honest with you. Would love to say I'd turn it down. Going to be tough. Once that check is real, and or if it's direct deposit, I would take it in check, and I want it in a big check. I don't want a small check. I don't want just a normal check that you can put in your wallet. I want a big cardboard check, and I'm going to frame it. I'm going to frame it and put it downstairs in the basement. It's a reminder, man. This house was built with this check. It's amazing.
Your Publishers Clearinghouse type check.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Give me the photo op. I need this. 26 mil? That's tough, man. With flu season hanging around and pollen season upon us, make sure your home is healthier with Trane's Clean Effects Home Air Cleaner. It removes up to 99.9% of airborne particles that cause allergy and virus. Is 100 times more effective than standard air filters and 8 times more effective than HEPA room filters. Find a dealer near you at Trane.com.
All right. Moving ahead now. Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson, I thought, had a great year last year. I know a lot of people see it differently, right? First of all, we'll start with y'all. John Saber, where are we at with Ty Simpson in 25?
Well, I think the normal consensus was that he was a very good, I don't know about great, but a very good college quarterback. He was a maybe, I don't want to say victim of his circumstance, but he didn't have too much around him. It seemed like he was having to carry the team quite a bit. He gets hurt in the final game, moves on to draft prep, and everyone's kind of feeling that he was the second best quarterback, looking up only at Fernando Mendoza. Now, in the last week, it feels like things have changed a little bit. Dan Orlovsky has gone on record saying that he thinks Ty Simpson is the best quarterback. And not to be outdone, Mel Kiper Jr. said that Shedeur Sanders is better than Fernando Mendoza. So, honestly, I don't know where we are with any quarterbacks right now. I'm kind of confused.
Shedeur Sanders, Pro Bowler. He was a Pro Bowler. That's a fact. No, I think Ty Simpson, listen, I understand Dan Orlovsky is getting a lot of heat, but I thought he presented his discussion in a very eloquent manner. And again, he played the position, so I take it, like, hey, he knows exactly what he's looking at. This is how he feels. He gave his opinion. Do I agree? Maybe not, but I don't think that he was that far-fetched. But I think Ty Simpson in 2025, I think when you look back at just what he had to do without a consistent run game, I think he needs to be respected a little bit more for what he had to endure, because it was literally him doing everything because they couldn't run the football consistently. So I think that Ty, for the circumstance that he was in, still, when you look at his career, especially for this past season, I think he was a great quarterback because he had to do everything, had to get the offense in the right situation, had to carry all that load of, dang, we cannot run the football, so I have to stand up and make the throws necessary to ensure that we have a chance to victory. And again, Alabama won a playoff game on the road. Yeah, the SEC championship didn't go the way that you wanted, but when you look at the season in totality, he was asked to do everything. And to me, I think he achieved a lot better than I thought that they would have to, that it was needed for him for Alabama to have success. And I think he stepped up to the call, did what he needed to do. I think Ty Simpson's career is going to be probably in folklore as we get older, because people are going to go back to the 2025 season like, dang, man, he had to do everything. So I think he shouldered the load, and he did everything that he possibly could to put Alabama in position to win week to week.
I thought he was great, especially when you take into account, one, playing through injury, not being 100%. That's hard in of itself. Like, it's that he was not 100% down the stretch. That's a tough spot to be in, right? I don't care what the circumstances are. That's hard. That's really, really hard. But I think he always gave you a chance. And if you think about this, go back game by game. Like, if we go back game by game, how many big time throws did he make game by game that either secured the victory or was a clutch moment, or, put them in position to win the game? How many, if we're going to look at like a wins against replacement metric, if we're going to go into analytics, which I don't often do, and I don't even know how to qualify it, I would struggle with that. But if we're looking at it from a wins against replacement situation, let's start. First of all, let's not even talk about Florida State. Florida State was tough sledding. They really had nothing going. It was mostly the defense, frankly. The defense didn't play well that day. It was bad ball, and there was really bad offense too. It wasn't great. Had a tough time kind of finishing drives. It was not what you wanted. So after the Florida State game, removed that one. It wasn't great. And by the way, Ty was the furthest thing from their biggest issue in that game. Protection issues, drops, poor routes, a bunch of things led to that performance, right? So it wasn't great for Ty. Remove ULM. I'm not going to put a lot of stock in that one. You look at Wisconsin. Not necessarily a super challenging opponent, but there were 5 or 6 throws in that game that were big time throws.
Yep.
Real big time throws, right? Very, very important, got to have it situations. Okay. Looking at the Georgia game, Ty Simpson in that game was off the charts, especially on third down, especially early in that ball game. Very, very important plays, very, very important moments. If you look at 14-play touchdown pass, they scored on 3rd and goal. 3rd and goal. You missed that throw, you don't hit it, don't score a touchdown. Tough sledding, right? Look at a little later in the game. Another big time 3rd down, 4th down convert. He was lights out in that game. Now, it didn't play as well in the second half, but that was partly because they couldn't really consistently run the football and put the game away. But he made 5 or 6 big time throws in that Georgia game, and they probably don't win it without Ty Simpson. Go to the Vanderbilt game. Couple of big time throws in that game down the left sideline, big time throw. Climbing back in the game, couple big time throws. Took a couple sacks in that game. Sacks that he probably could have gotten rid of it, but for the most part, man, was outstanding in that performance. Missouri, 2 4th downs.
Yep.
2 4th down conversions on the game-winning touchdown drive. That throw to the left-hand corner, probably the best throw of the year. Man coverage, hits Lottie Brooks on the corner route. That was one of the better throws of the year. A Tennessee game, played well in that game. South Carolina game, how many clutch throws down the stretch did he have to execute? 4th down execution, got it done. LSU game, end of half, hits a big throw right down the middle of the field, sets up another touchdown. Huge, big-time play, momentum-swinging play. Now, OU game, not great, right? That's when things started to kind of come back to earth a little bit. Auburn game, 4th down, big-time throw, right? These are big-time throws. It didn't go well for him at Georgia the second time around. Oklahoma game, couple of really big-time throws in the playoff game. Couple big-time throws. So I think if you go back through it and really go through the specific plays in which he flipped the win probability on one throw by itself, it says a lot about his clutch gene and his accuracy and his ability to deliver when the most important play is needed. Yep. Maybe the most important play of the game, he delivered. His pass-fail rate on the most important moments of the game, of the season, really, really strong. All right? And yet, there's a lot of people that are pushing back about him being drafted really high. And I understand this. Now, would I have him ahead of Fernando Mendoza? No. Would y'all?
No.
No. John?
No.
All due respect to Ty Simpson.
Right.
Love the guy. think he's a great player. I would probably take Fernando Mendoza ahead of him in the NFL draft.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no one behind Ty Simpson in the NFL draft that I think is encroaching on his spot as the number 2 guy off the board.
Nope.
There's plenty of guys I like in this draft, by the way. Like I like Carson Beck better than most. I like a handful of guys, frankly, in this draft. I think it's pretty solid, kind of middle tier quarterback draft. I think there's a bunch of guys that I think have a chance to be really, really solid. But I also probably wouldn't go as far as to say, yeah, you know what, he's probably going to go higher than Ty. I don't think that's happening. I think Ty's going to be number 2 quarterback taken. And I still am of belief, because they always do this. There's always these black clouds and these smoke screens and things like that. Happens every year. It's not new. It's not different. It's not unique. Everybody is always going to dog the guy that's supposed to be next. Nobody thought Michael Penix was going off at 7. If you would have listened to this show, we all told you he was going to go early.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really early. Now, I didn't anticipate it being 7 to the Falcons, because they had just signed Kirk Cousins to a $160 million deal.
Right.
I didn't anticipate him going there, but I thought it was going to be in the top 10. I thought it might be Minnesota, who ended up taking J.J. McCarthy. I thought it might be somewhere there, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think the same is going to happen with Ty Simpson. And maybe I'm crazy, but the more you watch his tape, and I had to do this as an exercise for Get Up. We had to put together some quarterback reels. And I watched one after the other after the other. So I watched Fernando Mendoza, then I watched Dante Moore, then I watched Ty Simpson. If you watch Ty Simpson from week 3 of last year to week 10 of last year, there was nobody in college football that was playing better than he was. Now, the numbers might not reflect that. The stats and the QB rating and all this other stuff might not reflect that. But when you take into account that Bama was a one-dimensional offense and he had to throw them out of some jams,
Yep.
There's nobody that was playing better. And I am of the belief that the style of offense that is been installed by Kalen DeBoer and Tommy Rees prior to that, this is a NFL-level offense. Requires NFL-level processing. I think Ty's going to be just fine. All these people saying, I don't know if he's a first-round pick. This dude's going in the first round.
100%.
Lock.
100%.
If you were to tell me right now, put the over-under at, say, 20.5. I'm taking under. I think he's going to go in the teens.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be that surprised if he went in the top 10 by the time it's all said and done. So if you were a fan of a quarterback-needy franchise,
Correct.
how would you feel about your team drafting Ty Simpson?
I'd feel fine. It's the thing. The biggest thing for him is, okay, if he's not ready, do I have a veteran that can bridge the gap? So my biggest thing I've said essentially since the draft order was out there, I said that the Los Angeles Rams would be ideal spot for Ty Simpson. Because, A, you have Matthew Stafford, who's a longtime veteran, somebody that you can soak a lot of game from, and everybody loves the Sean McVay offense. That what better way to kind of bridge the gap of, hey, maybe Ty's not ready to be a full-blown starter just yet because we've got that. But we know that Matthew Stafford's on the tail end of his career that, hey, okay, well, we're not going to be searching for a guy on free agency. No, we've got a rookie that we can build up, learn under him, and see where it goes. If I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, are you satisfied with having Aaron Rodgers for another year? I don't think so. But so you have to start looking towards the replacement, and Ty Simpson, again, a guy that sits behind a guy like Aaron Rodgers. If I have a veteran quarterback that I know is probably towards the end, I would definitely look at Ty Simpson as, okay, he may not be my day one starter when he gets here, but we're gonna be serviceable for as long as we possibly can with the veteran, bring him up and let him shine. Like if I'm the Jets, yeah, you need a quarterback. Geno, you probably got him for 1 to 2. But you got to put some pieces around him to feel comfortable saying, hey, Ty, we're rolling you out there. Let the chips fall where they may. But if I am one of these teams that are looking for a quarterback that, you're not 100% set on throwing a rookie out there. If you draft Ty Simpson, build him up for a year or two, and when his number is called, he will be ready.
I think he's going to be. See, that's where I slightly disagree with you. Like, I think this guy's ready to be a day one starter. I really believe that. Now, do I think it's in his best interest to be a day one starter? No, but I don't think it's in anyone's best interest to be a day one starter. Like, especially if you're drafted in the top 5.
Right.
Like, you're going to go to an awful team. Cam Ward, by the way, is fantastic. Does anybody know that?
I do.
He's great.
For sure.
He's a dog. I love him. I think he's great.
But when
he just went to the wrong team.
He just went to a horrendous situation.
Yeah, he did.
Like, it's brutal. I hope he plays his way through it. I hope everything ends up being great for him. I think it's going to be awesome.
He will.
For his next team, yes, because that's what you got to do when you're a Titans. You got to leave there to be great. Hashtag Mike Vrabel.
I don't know. Tannehill got good when he got there.
He did.
Yeah.
Okay.
It can work both ways.
He can. Just got to be patient. And we also got to build some things around.
Derrick Henry. I mean, he was good, but
that helps.
Continued to have success, right? Yeah.
Correct. That doesn't hurt. I've been told a running game helps quarterbacks.
It does. It does.
There's a lot of buzz about that.
But no, okay. So, and that's the thing about Dan Orlovsky's take. It was, hey, when he has to make NFL type throws, decisions, checks, and the offense that he runs, Ty Simpson did it at a level that, hey, okay, if you break it down, like you said, when it comes down to the reels, where Fernando Mendoza wasn't asked to do the things that Ty Simpson was, simply based off of what system they were running and the things that he was able to do. Not to say that Fernando Mendoza can't be a great, like, if he's your number one guy, lock it, I understand. But also, when you look at what Ty Simpson was asked to do, he did a pretty good job to great job of doing everything that he needed to do because of the fact they could not run the football. 100%.
Here's what I would say about the Fernando Mendoza thing. I think Fernando's great. I think he's awesome. He's a really, really good player. Based on whatever metric this is on the NFL draft, I'm assuming Mel Kiper. I have no idea. I'm on ESPN.com. And I'm going through it, and I'm looking at the supporting cast, right? Well, Roman Hemby, his running back, is supposed to be the 5th running back taken in the draft. Like I said, I don't know how this is all going to work out, but just going off that. 5th running back, Roman Hemby.
Right.
His other running back, Kalen Black, is 12th. So he's got 2 of the top 12 running backs in this draft that he had at his disposal. Jam Miller, shockingly, is 11th. So slightly ahead of Kalen Black, but 7 spots lower than Roman Hemby. Let's go to wide receivers. His best weapon last year in college was Elijah Surratt. He's number 16 wide receiver right now.
Okay.
Pretty good, right? Very, very salty. His second best receiver and number 1 receiver as far as prospect is Omar Cooper. He's 5th. That's ahead of Jeremy Bernard, who is the top guy coming out from Alabama. So he had a guy that was technically draft-wise better than Jeremy.
Right.
And then a second guy who is a phenomenal college player, but probably just doesn't run quite well enough to be a top-level guy. So he's got 2 guys better there. If you look at fullbacks, Noah Kowski, for example, not really long enough to be a great college or a great NFL player, but Bama doesn't have a tight end right now in the top 18 NFL draft prospects at tight end. People will sit there and say, oh, well, look at Caden Proctor. Caden Proctor never reached his potential, not 1 second at Alabama, never. Now, you can blame him. You can blame the coaching staff. You can blame circumstances, not being able to go through spring, whatever the circumstances are. Like, it wasn't there. Just never really materialized. You look at some of the other pieces. You look at the center, Brailsford, amazing, number 5 right now. 5th center coming off the board. Pat Coogan is the 8th center coming off the board, so comparable in play. I mean, 5 versus 8. One's 155 overall, one's 181 overall. It's not that dissimilar. So you look at just the supporting cast, y'all, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, Indiana had better personnel. You can disagree or you can agree. They had better personnel right now, according to this deal. Jaden Roberts is the number 6 guard. Jaden Roberts wasn't even starting down the stretch.
Correct.
Didn't even start. Now, are they drafting on upside? Potentially. Gotta be, right? Or are they drafting on college production? Because all these guys were outrageously productive in college. Now, did Fernando play a hand in that? For sure. But he had a better supporting cast than what Ty Simpson had. And he had
100%.
balance, which was helpful as well.
100%.
Took some of the pressure off. So I love Fernando Mendoza. He is number 1. No doubt about it. I think he's a fantastic, fantastic prospect. I'd take him in a heartbeat. I love the kid, too. Just an outstanding, outstanding young man. But anybody has reservations about Ty Simpson, man, I don't know if they're watching the same tape I am. That guy's the real deal, man.
Yep.
He is the real deal. I think he's going to be a good pro, too. I really believe. I think he's going to be a really good pro. Now, it's always dependent on where you go. Got to go to a good situation. Got to go to a talented supporting cast. If you're out there with a bunch of guys that can't run and can't catch and can't block, you're going to have a hard time.
Correct.
If you have a bad coach, you're going to have a hard time. But I think if he goes to the right situation, he's going to be a really good pro. Let's go to B-Ham Dog on Ty Simpson. B-Ham Dog, what's up, my friend?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Yeah, everything you alluded to on Ty Simpson and what he had to endure is what I have been screaming about Carson Beck. You go back and look at the 2024 season, they finished second to last in the conference in rushing, just like Alabama did in 2025. Very poor O-line play, took a lot of sacks. I think the difference is everybody wants to jump and look at Carson Beck's interception rate, and I think that had a lot to do with it, and you may say I'm wrong here, but his gunslinger mentality took more chances than what Ty Simpson. He just wasn't as smart as Ty Simpson with the ball. And you just said something about having bad personnel and being drafted to a team that has bad personnel. Well, that should fit in Carson Beck's favor because he played with some receivers that couldn't catch in 2024. But anyway, everything you said about Ty Simpson, it really highlights what Carson Beck did in 2024, which I think, like you, I am very high on Carson Beck. Is he better than Ty Simpson? I don't think so, but I think he's a very good quarterback. A lot of Georgia fans really like to hate on him a lot, but just like throw that out there.
No, I think it's all good. I think Carson Beck's going to be, he's a guy that's risen up draft boards. I mean, for a good reason. Like, he could throw it. And this guy would have been, if you remove the Georgia season from a couple years ago when, a lot of people blamed him for pretty much everything, and that wasn't totally fair. Now, did he have as good a year as he had the year before? No, but it still pretty dang good year, all things considered. You look at Carson Beck, he would have been the number 1 guy.
Yeah.
But he decided to come back, and it didn't really materialize for him. So I think Carson Beck, I agree with you. I think he's going to end up being in really good shape. Look, I just am amazed at how polarizing Ty Simpson is. Okay, so he's not the biggest.
Correct.
He's not the fastest.
Correct.
He doesn't have the biggest arm. And yeah, did he have some substandard performances the final 3 games of the year?
For sure.
4 games of the year, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't ideal. He was beat up. The guy lost 15 pounds during the season. That's not normal.
That's tough.
Totally beat up. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, watch him when he's on. When he's on, nobody in the draft does it better than him. Now, he's got to be on more often moving forward. But, he's not big enough. He's not tall enough. He's not this. He's not that. He's, he had play dipped a little down the stretch. He hasn't started enough games. All right. Watch. He's still going to go in the top 15.
Correct.
I would be surprised if he doesn't. I really would. We'll see where it ends up. Well, I know I'm pulling for him. I think most Alabama fans are pulling for him. That's for sure. I think all Alabama fans are pulling for him. He's a good kid and did it the right way and turned down a lot of money to go play somewhere else in college football because he wanted to protect his legacy at Alabama. That says a lot about the individual and the person that was leading the Tide last year. All right, when we come back, do a little bit more on NFL draft, just briefly. Give you some updates about who's kind of projected to go where from the Tide and from Auburn as well. And then we're going to get into replacement referees. That's right. Replacement referees. Anytime I think replacements, I think like Keanu Reeves going to run through the smoke screens to go save the Sentinels. But, and date the cheerleader, which would be totally inappropriate in a professional setting. But I digress. We'll explain what replacement referees might mean for the NFL moving forward on Mac and Cube. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning on Jock 94.5. Trying to build the foundation of your NFL team through the NFL draft coming up just a couple weeks from now. I always really enjoy the NFL draft. You get to know the kids, you know their story, you know their family, you know all this other stuff, and they get, look, it's a dream of all of ours. Everyone that ever put on a helmet dreams of playing in the NFL. No matter what. I mean, it doesn't matter what your aspirations are. You strap it up, you want to play in the league. Who doesn't? It's the coolest thing ever. Now, frankly, my goals were just to play for South Lake Carroll, and then they grew in time. Played at South Lake Carroll. Oh, Alabama wants me to play for him? Awesome, I'm in. Oh, wait, what? The Jets? In. So, but anyone, I mean, it's just cool to see these dreams realized, man. A lot of work, a lot of sacrifice goes into it, and a lot of it starts with the foundation at home. And if you're worried about your home's foundation, you need to call Canty Foundation Specialists. They are the local experts in foundation repair, crawl space, basement, and concrete solutions. We know at some point here, April showers bring May flowers. It's April tomorrow. But the wet and rainy season's probably going to get here at some point. And maybe at that point, you start discovering some leaks in your basement, in your foundation, your crawl space. Is the basement damp? Is it musty? Well, water intrusion can lead to legitimate foundation damage, and it can be damaging to your health as well with mold, allergies. And of course, we know it can ruin your belongings as well. Well, Canty Foundation Specialists can help. They're the experts in basement waterproofing. They'll come out and do a free inspection for water damage and any other foundation issues you think you might have. So call Canty today at 205-509-3991 or go online at Canty, C-A-N-T-E-Y, Can Fix It. That's Canty, canfixit.com. All right, NFL draft for the Alabama and Auburn players that will be coming out. A little surprised, by the way. There's a couple guys that are just, I thought would maybe be a little bit higher up with their assessment as they transition to the NFL. One thing I was also a little surprised with, they have Keldrick Falk right now listed as an edge. I kind of thought Keldrick Falk would be a little bit of a tweener, like a DN, D tackle, kind of a tweener hybrid. Ideally, 3-4 defensive end where he lines up right inside the tackle and kind of holds the point just a little bit. He can be a disruptor, but like a traditional, edge presence, a traditional pass rusher. I didn't see him really projecting that way. I actually think in time he'll probably bulk up and maybe actually end up as a legitimate defensive tackle. But he right now is projected to be the 4th edge drafted in this upcoming draft. He's the 22nd overall player, according to Mel Kiper. Kieran Crawford from Auburn, also listed as an edge right now. He's the 83rd overall player and is projected to be the 12th player off the board, the 12th edge off the board. So it's kind of an interesting edge class, by the way. I mean, you got a lot of really solid players like Akeem Mesidor from Miami, Ruben Bain from Miami, David Bailey from Texas Tech, TJ Parker from Clemson, R. Mason Thomas from Oklahoma. So a bunch of interesting edge prospects. But, man, to qualify all in that, quote, edge category is kind of interesting. I mean, one guy's 6'6", 280. The other guy's 6'2", 241. Those guys are all listed. That guy at 6'2", 241's R. Mason Thomas. Like, listed as the same position as Keldrick Falk. Two very different players, and yet listed as the same position when it comes to the NFL draft. I'm always fascinated by how this all works out, but it'll be great to see how it all unfolds. Deontay Lawson, by the way, from Alabama, listed as the 8th best linebacker, off-the-ball linebacker. That's quite a ways down there. His overall position rank is 102nd overall. So that would have you, somewhere early 4th round, thereabouts, if things go according to this list. And maybe they will, maybe they won't. Justin Jefferson listed right behind him at number 123 overall. So two guys hopefully get their name called on Friday, but it's looking possible. It could be Saturday for both those two gentlemen, former Crimson Tide linebackers. Tim Keenan, right now, overall prospect ranked 167. So likely looking, day 3 for Tim Keenan. They're somewhere 4th, 5th, 6th round in that vicinity. Look at some others. The wide receiver spot that we talked about already. Right now, it sounds like Jeremy Bernard's going to be somewhere in the vicinity of the 2nd round, which is great. I think that's awesome. I'm so happy that he's getting the credit he deserves. What a year he had last year and stepping up and becoming a real go-to guy in the passing game. So very interested seeing how it all unfolds for Jeremy Bernard. Just a great kid and a guy that everyone can get behind. And then finally, LT Overton, also kind of tweener right now, 106th overall, looking kind of like a day 3 pick. So we go back and look. The NFL draft is not the end all be all, right? It's not the ultimate litmus test for quality, right? A lot of it's projection and ceiling and measurables and all sorts of stuff. But I hear over and over and over and over and over again how Alabama, best roster in the sport, best roster in the sport, best roster in the sport. Well, tell me this. If they have the best roster in the sport, how is it they don't have a single defensive player from last year that is expected to go before day 3 of the draft?
Boom, roasted.
Day 3 of the draft. And maybe they go higher. I hope they do. That'd be amazing. I'm rooting for them. I love these kids. I really want that to happen. But right now, the highest ranked defensive player right now for the Tide is Damani Jackson at corner. Damani Jackson is the 91st overall player. Damani Jackson wasn't even starting at the end of the year. The best edge, LT Overton, 106th overall. Best linebacker, Deontay Lawson, 102nd overall. Best defensive tackle, Tim Keenan, 167th overall. And y'all are going to blame Kalen DeBoer for this? No, I mean, the roster's just not what it's been, guys. I mean, the last couple of years, the Saban era, recruiting was not as good as you think it was. Like, that's just the reality. It doesn't mean that Coach Saban's not the best ever. He is. But the roster is not what it once was. And it's got to get back to that. Like, if they're going to compete for national championships, you want to go through where Ohio State is? Ohio State's got the number 1 defensive tackle, the top 2 linebackers. Yes, you heard that right. The top 2 linebackers. They have one of the top corners in Davis and Nick Benosin. They have the top safety in Caleb Downs, who was at one point at Alabama. True. That is accurate. Look at the wide receivers. They have the number 1 wide receiver, Carnell Tate. Pretty dang sporty there. Julian Sam, when he does come out, will end up eventually being in a really good spot, I would assume. We'll see. You look at tight end. They have a guy as a tight end, and Will Kazmarek, who I think is painfully underrated as it relates to this, but they also have another tight end at number 6. I mean, they have players at every position, every single one. They didn't win the national championship, but look at their roster quality compared to what Alabama was dealing with. They both made to the same exact round, if I'm not mistaken. Alabama lost in the same round as Ohio State last year with far less elite skill and elite personnel. That's coaching. Coaching at Alabama is pretty dang sporty, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. All right, when we come back, speaking of sporty, referees, replacement refs. How do we feel about them? Because they might be heading our way. Next on Mac and Cube. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning on Jocks 94.5. It's going to be fascinating to see how this NFL draft plays out. I really am super, super interested. In all seriousness, I really am. Like, 'cause I do think the misconception, if you listen to the recruiting services and what Bama should have done given their roster compared to what they actually were, and the perception of their personnel and all that stuff, I think they're very different. And I think the NFL draft is the ultimate litmus test for determining quality of personnel. Like, usually the teams that with the most first, second rounders are the teams that are going to compete for the championship. And if you don't have a ton of first, second rounders, like, probably not going to compete for the championship, especially when you don't have a bunch of first, second rounders on defense. It's going to be tough sledding. It is. It's going to be real tough sledding. So we'll see how it all unfolds. See how it goes. Honestly, rooting for all those kids, because every single kid I listed, from Deontay Lawson to Tim Keenan to Justin Jefferson to all of them that went to Damani Jackson, Frank, all these guys, I really love those kids. They were good kids, man. Really, really good kids. Want the best for them. Hope they end up in a great spot. Hope they carve out a long and lucrative and successful NFL career. Absolutely rooting for that. But it's not looking like they're going to get drafted where we all kind of hoped they would. Hopefully it happens before day 3 for a lot of the guys that we were just talking about. Another thing that's been coming up, and this has kind of been breaking over the last few days, it's kind of a big story. Like, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, officials do play a bit of a role when it comes to the quality of the game that we're watching. Officials get super involved, game quality dips. Officials stay way back and call nothing, game quality also dips. Like, the perfect amount of referee involvement very much determines the watchability. And just one blown call could have a huge impact on the game, could have a huge impact on the season, could have a huge impact on a coach's career or a player's career. I mean, don't you realize that if Uncle Rico would have been put in, they would have won state, he would have gone to the pros, and he'd made $1 billion? Like, that's the butterfly effect. That's it. The butterfly effect. And sometimes the officials can be the ones that have an impact in the butterfly effect. One thing goes a certain way. Next thing you know, like, I remember vividly in 2011, we're playing the New York Giants. I'm on the New York Jets at the time. It's like week 16 or 15. It's late in the year. All right, we get the Giants backed up. It could probably, had been 2-3 yard line. And we can probably look up this play. Get them backed up. We're in great shape. 3rd down and long. Eli hits Victor Cruz on a little option route. And Victor Cruz turns the corner and takes it to the house. Completely flips the game. And it was a heartbreaking thing to witness. It was. Now, we ended up losing that game 29-14. But we were in good shape, and we were up 7-0. Everything was cooking. Victor Cruz, 99-yard pass from Eli Manning. 3 plays, 99 yards, 25 seconds off the clock. At that point, we were up 7-3. We are in complete control of the game. We actually outgained them. We did turn it over a couple times. But that play totally flipped our season, flipped the momentum of the game. And on that play, if I remember correctly, it was 3rd and 10 at the Giants 1. Mm-hmm. There was a pretty egregious offensive pass interference on Victor Cruz. Pretty egregious. It's like an option route. He goes up, man coverage, kind of sheds him, which, by the way, he did a perfect technique. So I'm not surprised he got away with it. But if they call OPI right there, he doesn't score. We get the ball at midfield. We go down, we score. Now we're up 17-3. Mm-hmm. It could be ball game. Well, guess what happens after that game? Well, the Jets fall to 8-7 because of that loss. We end up losing the last 2 games. We missed the playoffs, and it was all she wrote. Didn't make it that year in 2011. Well, guess who did? The New York Football Giants. And the New York Football Giants proceeded to go and take care of business and win the whole dang thing and win the Super Bowl.
Makes sense.
Imagine that. So one missed OPI call had a huge impact on everybody involved in the Jets team and, frankly, the Giants team. So whether you want to acknowledge it or not, referees play a huge role in the game. Now, I'm not a referee guy that's going to put them on blast every week. Like, these guys are human. They do an amazing job. But right now, the NFL referee CBA expires 2 months from today on May 31st. And negotiations at this point are apparently at a complete standstill.
Oh, boy.
Now, they had just one morning session, and the talks completely collapsed, apparently. Now, the NFL has been authorized by team owners to begin hiring and training 150 to 180 replacement officials from college football. So you're sitting there saying, this is NFL. I'm not an NFL fan. I'm a college fan. Oh, cool. Great. So you're telling me that the NFL's referees being on strike doesn't impact you? Well, I hate to break it to you.
It's going to.
Those 150 to 180 referees, guess where they're coming from? Division I football. And in some cases, D2 and D3. Probably rare cases, but cases nonetheless. So, y'all, we got problems when it comes to officiating right now.
100%.
It's not great to begin with.
Right.
It's not terrible. I don't think
it get worse.
I don't think it's as bad as everyone makes it out to be. Like, what I think's bad is offensive line play. That's a different conversation. All right. I am far more concerned about getting offensive line play corrected than I am getting the officials corrected. Because guess what? Officials are going to official. It is what it is. But right now, guys, if these referees strike 2 months from today, we're going to have huge issues. Huge issues. Now, can these guys do a game on Saturday and a game on Sunday? Maybe. I don't know. Probably not.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough.
And if we all of a sudden lose all our officials at the NFL, what do?
Cool.
Damien's going to be out there in stripes.
I'll do what I can. I'll do what I can.
Give him back to the game.
That's it.
For a nice check.
Yeah.
Are you not worried about this?
Yeah. I mean, because what was it a few years ago? Green Bay, Seattle, when it was the Russell Wilson.
Mary.
Yeah,
the Fail Mary.
Fail Mary.
Yeah.
About 10 years or so ago.
Yeah, like, so, I mean, we've seen what this could be if they get into a crunch situation of like, okay, this is the one time in the game like this is going to happen, and who knows? But no, I'm with you, man. Especially if you're going to be taking, if you're calling an ACC game between Cal and SMU, you got to hit the plane and go up to call, the Jets and the Dolphins. You're gonna be tired. You got to be locked in. Like you said, they're human too. So it's going to be an issue for sure. It's going to be wild, man. But I'm hopeful that, within the next 2 months, we'll figure it all out. Well, at least we need to.
I'm worried. I'm real worried. I'm not panicked yet because I think what the NFL offered, and I don't know what referees make. They offered 6.5% annual raises over 6 years. Okay. The refs want 10%. That seems like a huge gap.
Yeah.
It does, but also feels like it could be negotiated too. Like that, I don't think that one's the sticking point.
Right.
Well, they also additionally want $2.5 million in marketing fees.
Marketing fees?
Yes.
So they want NIL?
No, right. They just want money from marketing. And let me tell you this. You know what's hilarious about this?
A bunch of money.
$2.5 million. You know how much that equates to per team?
Per team? I have no idea.
$78,000.
Yep, not much.
$78,000. These teams are selling in private equity sections, like 10% of they're selling for $10 billion. Right. And these owners are going to dig in over $78,000. Everyone wants to blame the refs, blame the players. Y'all, these owners are diabolical. $78,000? You make that in popcorn at one concession stand and one half of football. $78,000 a year?
A year? We're about to lose referees because of that.
We're gonna compromise the integrity of our game for $78,000 plus a 10% raise? What are we doing? These owners they are ruthless. They don't care. $78,000. Give me a
insane.
dang break. Unbelievable. All right, we'll put a bow on the show next on Mac and Cube.